Today's video about the role of testosterone in muscle hypertrophy, and this is part 4 in the increasing strength and mass of muscles, the theory. Okay, here we see chemical composition of testosterone, and then nowadays there is a wide opinion that all bodybuilders use growth hormone, anabolic steroids such as testosterone, as well as selective androgen receptor modulators, SARM, and pre-workout boosters to improve performance and physique. However, it is important to understand that there is no magic pill or injection to enlarge muscle size and strength of muscles for a person who don't do regular resistance exercises with progressive overload of muscles. The active substances only help to do more intense and longer resistance exercises, shorten recovery time, and allow more frequent visits of the gym for the athlete. Testosterone is a primary sex hormone and anabolic steroid in males. In humans, testosterone plays a key role in the development of male reproductive tissues such as testes and prostate, as well as promoting secondary sexual characteristics such as increased muscle and bone mass and the growth of body hair. In humans and most other vertebrates, testosterone is secreted primarily by testicles of males and ovaries of females. On average, in adult males, levels of testosterone are about 7 to 8 times as great as in adult females, and the dairy production is about 20 times greater in men than in women. In young adult men, range of age about from 19 to 39 years of age, the average healthy range of total testosterone is between 260 to 900, even 1000 nanogram per deciliter. For women over 19 years of age, the levels of free testosterone are from 8 to 60 nanogram per deciliter. Of that amount, only about 25% is considered biologically active. From 2 to 3% is present as free testosterone, and the rest as a loosely bound to albumin, which is a protein in serum. In adipose tissue, testosterone gets converted to the estrogen, and estradiol, it is the same estrogen. In adults, testosterone has effect across the body, but again, we have to remember that testosterone related to resistance exercises, related to physical activity, related to food, etc. So if we talk that testosterone affects some features, it means that also opposite, that result of the muscle growth will be higher testosterone level. Okay, so it is claimed that testosterone, testosterone relates to increased protein synthesis, and it increases muscle mass and strength. Again, it is related to the protein synthesis, not exactly changing much. This it is changing, but vice versa, it is also valid. So high muscle mass is producing more testosterone. Okay, body fat blocks the storage of fats in adipose tissue and improves burning of fat. But again, burning of fat, special like low carbohydrate diet, is also increase testosterone level and improves burning of fats from adipose tissue. Brain, it improves cognition, memory, sex drive, and affects feeling. Yes, and again, so if you feel well, and of course we have more higher testosterone level, and we feel better, and brain works better. Heart, it increases blood flow and cardiac output. Then again, it can be a result of the resistance training and endurance training, and then so it is all related. Testosterone level getting higher because of resistance exercises, endurance exercises, but also it improves the heart. The heart is getting bigger, it works more efficient way, etc. Bone, and testosterone increases red blood cell production and bone growth, also maintains bone density. But again, you have to remember that it is related. So like resistance exercises, they are very positive for bone density and for bone growth. And of course, we have higher testosterone, and we can say that they are related. Testosterone related to bone density and to bone growth. Male sex organs. Testosterone support sperm production and viability and promotes penis growth and erectile function. Again, if diet or some substances we are getting from food are suppressing production of testosterone, then we have that low testosterone level, and of course this secondary and the primary sex organs do not develop in such males. Skin, it supports collagen production and produces hair and body hair. Okay, then this is not so clear. But certainly some condition can promote collagen production, and testosterone probably a part of this process. Kidney with high level of testosterone producing erythropoietin, and which is stimulates red blood cell production in bone marrow. Okay, here we have a picture of chemical structure of testosterone. You see that testosterone in chemical composition very close to cholesterol. Cholesterol is a substance that is used to produce testosterone. And we see here at this slide that cholesterol will be converted to progesterone and progesterone, and then it will in steps it will go to production of androstenedione, and then it can go to the DHEA production, and also to testosterone, and or even to dihydrotestosterone, which is active testosterone, which is responsible for sexual development. And we see here also that if we have somehow higher production of DHEA, the higher production of DHEA can be related to higher production of testosterone. But again, it is not exactly the cause. It is all related, and we have to consider all this in balance, in some equilibrium. Testosterone performs a multitude of anabolic and anti-catabolic functions in the skeletal muscles and neuronal tissue, leading to increased muscle strength, power, endurance, and hypertrophy in dose-dependent manner. Of course, again, both are related. So if resistance exercises and endurance exercises, they help to improve the level, improve the testosterone production, and vice versa. Then if we make some injections or make conditions for testosterone production, like consuming more cholesterol from food, then it is all related, so we have some balance. Okay, what is this dihydrotestosterone? It is active testosterone, which primarily acts within sex-related tissues, and it takes only secondary role in skeletal muscles. Okay, you see that the dihydrotestosterone is active, and it is responsible for development of this sexual organs in male, and but it is not working quite well for growth of muscles and all this equilibrium, how how our bones are growing, etc. Testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol in the Leydig cells of the testes, so it is again in testes. But okay, you see this. It is cholesterol is the substance, original substance. It is okay. Then with recommendations to avoid cholesterol in food and high content of so-called plant hormones, a level of testosterone production in males recently dropped essentially. Again, you have to think that if you limit food consumption of food with high cholesterol level, and if you will follow vegetarian diet, obviously you will have not enough this cholesterol to produce all these substances, active substances, and then your body will not function properly. Not to mention that plants have natural and chemical substances inside, some toxins, which reduce the production of the testosterone in particular. This is why we have a lot of generation of so-called soy boys. Okay, so foods which are rich in estrogen. So what is happening? If you consume a lot of plant-based food and which are related to the estrogen, then we have hormonal disbalance in the body of males, and then males are getting very low level of testosterone and high level of estrogen. So this is why this young male, young boys are confused and cannot understand, are they women or are they men? And so it is, and then they decide maybe to change sex, whatever. But it is stupid. It's just necessary to change the diet, what they consume. But again, the medical professionals highly recommend to follow this diet, so-called healthy diet, with 40% and more from carbohydrates, and consume a lot of fruits and vegetables, and very little part of the proteins, and very little fat. And fat is, of course, is absolutely important for cholesterol. So we are getting fat from animals, and with cholesterol, high cholesterol level in there. So you see what is recommended: fruits, but they're high in estrogen. They're high in some chemicals, artificial chemicals also, that people call plant hormones. And nowadays, high concentration of these plant hormones, they produce hormone disbalance in young children. And okay, carrots, etc. This is exactly what medical professionals recommend. And if you follow eating grains and seeds and herbs and spices, okay, spices maybe not so much because we don't consume it in large amounts, but seeds and grains are recommended in the so-called normal or healthy diet. And we see that somehow the medical professionals claim that total cholesterol level in the body, in the food, is corresponds to high risk of some development of problems in the body. It is absolutely wrong, absolutely wrong. Again, it is my opinion. I'm not medical professional. I believe that we have to consume as much cholesterol, the same name, cholesterol as possible, because cholesterol is the mother of all this testosterone and estrogen also, but it is also very, very important for detoxing of our body. So we consume more fruits and vegetables. We are getting hormone disbalance, and also grains, and then we develop all this diabetes type 2, and we have problems with blood vessels, etc. But a high cholesterol diet is like consuming a lot of eggs. Then it is very good for health, very good for muscle growth. For example, there is such diet, 36 eggs diet. I will talk about this later. Then it is every egg has about 180-200 milligram of cholesterol, and if you consume 36 eggs a day, then it is, you see, it is 6 grams of cholesterol every day. So this is good for detoxing of the body, and I use it. I use such diet. I consume as many eggs as possible to for rejuvenation. It is a part of my program of rejuvenation, to remove toxins from my body, because I started this program of rejuvenation not long ago. It is only all the change I started about 2.5 years, and this program of detoxing I started maybe about 3 months ago, 3.5 months, and then results are good. The results are very good. I am very satisfied. I will not go about in details, because this is with the use of some supplements which are not It's not safe sometimes, so you have to understand what you're doing, what amount, and what should be else done for detoxing. It is not easy at all, but it is a big part of my rejuvenation program. Okay, what is happening? Again, people understand that we have to understand that there is a connection, not cause. That low testosterone is not the cause of this of that lack of focus, constant physique, all these problems with that man develops more like a female with big boobs and big depositions of abdominal fat, and then, but men who with high testosterone develops healthy heart and increased muscle mass. But again, it is not testosterone which is making this, but opposite also. If men follow resistant, will do resistant exercises, will eat a good diet, and with a lot of cholesterol, of course, and then he can produce the result of this diet and this exercise at high level of testosterone. So testosterone, if you make injections, it helps but little. It helps but little. Okay, we will go next to this. So it has to be understood that what is a proper diet. Again, the mass media information push us to consume more vegetable, to follow vegetarian diet, and with a lot of soy protein consumption and soy products, soy milk, etc. And this soy protein has a lot of estrogen or substances which work like estrogen. And then we have this generation of soy boys who are really look more like girls. Like girls, they have some hair on face, but they're fatty, they are weak, they don't feel themselves as a man, they feel themselves as female, as a woman. And they are, again, that's okay, this is what they develop. But again, what is low testosterone level and low rate of spermatozoid production, it is sperm production, it is a consequence of the diet and consequence of this activity, what they do, and some other substances which produce hormone disbalance. So you have to think that it is not easy. There is no magic pill. If you will make injection of testosterone, it helps, but to some extent only. Okay, now nevertheless it is getting popular. This so-called hormone replacement therapy is getting popular, and what is people using in medical professionals and also in bodybuilders also is getting common, that they make injectable or skin delivery formulations of testosterone or testosterone esters. And so there is injectable forms of testosterone esters such as the testosterone enanthate, propionate, or cypionate. Okay, some quite complicated esters. But problems that these injections produce undesirable fluctuations in the level of testosterone in blood. Skin patches provide a better blood level of the testosterone, but skin irritation in daily application still limits the usefulness and acceptability of this form of therapy and use of the androgenic formulation for bodybuilders. Okay, so and FDA in America approved testosterone replacement products. Quite many products. It includes, for example, such pellet which can be inserted under skin, and then it is releasing testosterone slowly. And there are some cream and gel, and you can make injections. So quite many. But what is the problem? If you do injection, so you see that testosterone goes much, even with limited injections. So normally people inject 100 milligram of testosterone, ester of testosterone, but even with so limited injection, the testosterone level go above the physical, the normal level of testosterone in the blood, and it is in 3-5 days it is dropping again. So this is why it is recommended to make injections of testosterone esters every week. So it will keep a little bit higher level of testosterone and not below the average level of the testosterone in blood. But patch of or gel work better in principle. It gives more stable level of testosterone. And again, I don't think it is the way, and why people do it, because with this level of testosterone above the normal level, people feel good, people have a lot of energy, and they're feeling like a Superman. And of course, somehow high level of testosterone related to your behavior and to your feelings. So this is why younger people start to use this testosterone injections, etc. But my opinion, again, better not to do it, not to make these pharmacies and to use these pharmacies, products of pharmacy, but also to try to increase the level of testosterone natural way through the exercises and proper food. Okay, since muscle mass in average decreases with age, and since men with low testosterone level show faster rates of lean muscle loss with aging compared to men with higher level of testosterone, it was proposed that older men might benefit from bringing testosterone in the middle or upper physical range. So if it was decided, okay, if we by injections or some patch or gel we can improve the level of the testosterone in blood, then it would help to keep muscle mass. However, again, I would say that it looks to me more logical. It is not the cause. A low level of testosterone, not the cause of lean muscle loss. But it is a result that people don't do resistance exercises. They keep low physical activity, and then they have low level of testosterone. So it is not exactly the reason of the higher lean muscle loss. It is because people don't take care of the muscles, they don't have enough physical activity, then the muscles are dropping, muscle mass is dropping, and then testosterone also go down. So it is again not related. So testosterone level, of course, if you follow not proper diet, and if you are getting this hormone disturbing substances, then it is also a problem because testosterone will be low. But yet again, it depends. You can change the diet, you can change the level of physical activity, and you can return a level of your testosterone to normal range. Okay, this is what I say. Again, there is like a relation, but not the cause. So the low level of testosterone, not the cause of of the high of the strength and mass of the lean muscles, but only correlation. There is correlation between the testosterone level and improvement in force and improvement in muscle mass. So if people do it, do proper diet, do proper physical activity, then testosterone will go up to the middle, or even to high natural range of the testosterone level. Here we see the plot again that you can think that testosterone concentration is related, it is connected, they are related to the strength, but opposite is valid. So improvement of the muscle mass and strength changing the testosterone level. And if we do it long, the longer we will do it, the better. Okay, the better. So because you have to keep it constantly. So it's not one day a week, or you have better do exercises and physical activity. Keep physical activity 5 days a week, maybe every day of the week. Also, it appears that testosterone level, pardon, not level, but level, does not change essentially with age of individuals. And again, that's official medical information that the testosterone level drops with age, but it is wrong. It is wrong because in recent publications it was presented that total testosterone level is not much different in age group of 60-69 years from a level in the age of 20-29. So it is again the wrong measurements. So again, all this idea that improvement in the testosterone level will produce higher muscle mass, it is again wrong measurements. The experiment, these measurements were and conclusions were wrong. Okay, then again, so what was measured, that measured serum testosterone level dropped only 15% in age group of 55-59 years old in comparison with the age group 20-24. 20-24 is considered the maximum of the testosterone production. It dropped, but very little. And again, it is not clear, is it dropped because of less physical activity, or it is dropped because of physical activity dropped in muscle mass dropped because testosterone level dropped. It is all related. So in the total testosterone dropped only 4% in the age group 55-64 age in comparison with age group 25-36. Again, 4% change, and again it is we cannot say that testosterone level drops and then old people have need these injections and hormone correction medicine. It's again, there are other way which is easy to do and with no adverse effects, etc. Okay, you see here that normally it is dropping, but again, older people have less physical activity than in average. They don't go to fitness, and this is what we have. The muscle mass is dropping, and testosterone level also drops. They are related, but it is not the cause. Low testosterone is not the cause of the muscle loss. Sarcopenia. Sarcopenia develops because people don't do any proper exercises, and they also don't keep this proper diet rich in proteins. If we have not enough proteins and follow this vegetarian diet, or with most of the energy from plants, then it is the result. So this result of the testosterone cannot be produced because we don't have enough cholesterol. Mechanism of testosterone influence of on muscle hypertrophy is not yet completely clear. It is again related, but we can see that there is some mechanism. So if with resistant exercises we improve testosterone, and high testosterone activates and increases the number of muscle fiber precursor cells called satellite cells. Satellite cells, once they activated, those satellite cells can become incorporated into existing muscle cells to increase the number of myonuclei, that is to enhance protein synthesis and to get muscular hypertrophy. Okay, I was talking about this science behind the muscle growth, and you probably, if you watch this video, then, or maybe please watch them. So there are some satellite cells, and satellite cells, they has to be activated, and then they get incorporated into existing muscle cell to increase the number of this myonuclei. In nuclei, they produce RNA, and RNA is important for the protein production. And otherwise, the satellite cells can fuse together and form new muscle cells. Okay, this process has name hyperplasia. Hyperplasia, it is not hypertrophy, but hyperplasia. It is creating new cells again, so volume of the muscle grown, and this process of hyperplasia and also hypertrophy is very, very important. I will talk about this in some other new videos, and this because it is very much important for rejuvenation, and rejuvenation should include, it is big part of the rejuvenation, and that this grows in muscle mass. Okay, then testosterone supplementation combined with resistant exercises and high protein diet, then we can get muscular hypertrophy, and strength will be significantly amplified. And exactly what I'm talking about: the proper diet, enough of cholesterol, and maybe some supplements of testosterone, or maybe DHEA or some other substances. Then we can improve our strength and muscle size, but also we can rejuvenate our body, at least in part. It is a big and important part of the body rejuvenation. Okay, we see here that these satellite cells, they get activated, they multiply in so-called processes of myoblasts. They produce myoblasts. Myoblasts, they get converted to myocyte. Myocyte fuse together to produce myotube. It is new muscular cell, and this muscular cell further gets transformed into myofiber. Myofiber, it is long cell with many nuclei inside. That's important process of this hyperplasia and hypertrophy. It's important to understand that how this works. But again, activation of this so-called satellite cells can be done not only by testosterone but other substances either. So it is again very not simple process. For example, DHEA also activate cells, satellite cells, and there are even some pharmacy products that can activate cells. But for activation, it is important to keep them to make resistant exercises with progressive overload, because without the damage of the muscle cells, without fatigue, and without this progressive overload till failure to make more exercises, then nothing works. All has to be taken in together. Okay, that nevertheless there were experiments and some trials in men that testosterone supplementation induces muscle hypertrophy, and how it shows the mechanism that the satellite cells number is increasing, and also number of mitochondria in the muscle cells increasing. It is obvious because the satellite cells, they have nucleus and they have mitochondria, and then when they are fusing, you have a larger number of mitochondria and a larger number of nuclei inside the muscle cell. Okay, and then the doses were 300 to 600 milligram of testosterone. This range is used by bodybuilders. So it is again, if you take such level, 300, 600 milligram doses of testosterone a week, then every week you make injection of such doses, then it is working, but again, you have to remember that another condition for muscle growth has to be physical activity. Resistant exercises or even endurance exercises also help. Testosterone was associated with a significant reduction of fat and with an increase of lean mass, particularly in younger subjects and in those with metabolic disturbances. No effect of testosterone in cholesterol level. Again, this is a misunderstanding what is cholesterol. They call it a high density lipoprotein cholesterol, but again, or they even said it is high density cholesterol. It is absolutely not honest. Cholesterol is cholesterol. Its chemical composition is fixed. The presence of cholesterol in membranes of our cells is absolutely important, but also it is present in so-called high density and low density lipoproteins. These are vessels to transport fatty acids and fat in our blood. So it is again related to the digestion and of fat, and it is related to use of fat as source of energy. Of course, if fat is used as source of energy, then we can burn fat. And it will give reduction of fat. Okay, there was some trial, medical trial, and again, high testosterone level boosts endurance. Why? Okay, so again we can understand this mechanism because low testosterone supplements or injections combined with low intensity endurance exercises, in case this is endurance exercises, they pardon, stimulate mitogenesis and red blood cell development in comparison with only endurance exercises in mice. Pardon. More red blood cells means more oxygen carrying capacity within the blood to work in muscles, and more mitochondria in the muscle cells means more energy can be produced by burning fatty acids and glucose. Okay, and again, you remember that activation of the satellite cells increases the number of mitochondria and also nuclei in the muscle cells, and this is the mechanism. But to activate these satellite cells, not only testosterone level important, but also resistant exercises, fatigue, and failure in with this progressive overload, and also availability of amino acids, and so proper diet is important also too. Okay, then some elite male athletes involved in throwing events, so it is intensive but short efforts. They demonstrated significantly low free testosterone level, whereas male sprinters, but sprinters they at least they do regular exercises. They showed high level of the free testosterone than male athletes in other events. Okay, again, we see that we need some kind of high intensity exercises. Would it be sprinters, so running it as fast as you can, or it is also corresponds to high intensity and low volume resistant exercises? Then it is improving the level of testosterone. Weekly injections of either 100 milligram of testosterone ester, like enanthate or placebo, was compared with placebo. Old men, old males, and 78.2 years in average. It gave significantly greater increases in cross-sectional muscle area compared with placebo. However, it produced only non-significant improvement in strength. Okay, you see that without resistant exercises, you can increase the size of the muscle because that you will have more water in the size or in the muscles, but it will not without this progressive overload, the muscle strength will not grow. So the conclusion is the higher testosterone level, the higher muscle mass and bigger size, but only slightly greater strength. We need a resistant exercise. It doesn't work itself if you will do only injections and people don't increase this physical activity. It will not work. Muscle protein synthesis is significantly low at rest and also after a meal. However, after low intensity resistant exercises, muscle protein synthesis is not significantly different. Okay, this is I made it but okay, what we have here at this plot, that we have comparison of gain in strength for different conditions, like low resistant exercises and low intensity exercise plus testosterone, or high intensity resistance exercises with placebo or testosterone, and we see that highest increase in muscle strength is in combination for resistant exercises plus testosterone. But again, even without testosterone, here this column, it is quite good. It is already working quite good. So again, the situation is such that you can improve, enhance your level of testosterone by doing regular resistant exercises, and you follow regular physical activity, and then together it is the same, like it may create high level of testosterone, plus you continue to do these exercises, then it will your progress will go well. Progress in muscle strength and muscle volume will work. But even injections, say okay, injections can work. 100 milligram per week, it is not much. It is much less than bodybuilders use, and bodybuilders use 300 up to 600 milligram per week. And then it works. It gives some additional improvement. So it is again up to you to decide what to do. But if it is an old person with already low muscle mass, and then he wants to get quicker progress, then probably injections can help. Here it is presented change in the fat-free mass versus change in the testosterone level from baseline. Okay, so we see that the injections of 100 nanogram per deciliter, I mean injections and improvement of the testosterone level of 100 nanogram per deciliter, then they give additional muscle strength and muscle mass. Again, we have to remember that it is all related. So to improve to increase the testosterone level, you have to do exercises. Or if you do injections, okay, it also helps, but there are some also side effects, and it is in no way it is recommended to exceed the level of injections, like more than 100 milligram, maybe maximum 300 milligram per week. It is again, it's otherwise we will have a lot of side effects, and the side effects are quite strong. As I said, bodybuilders use about 300 milligram up to 600 milligram testosterone per week, and they normally split it to everyday injections to keep the level of testosterone more stable. And then there is a synergy of testosterone in combination with growth hormone and insulin. Because if it is to activate growth hormone, also activates the satellite cells, and if they are used together, then the activation is much stronger. but problem that growth hormone increases the level of glucose in blood and may result in the development of diabetes type 2. So what bodybuilders are doing, they make regular injections of insulin to reduce the glucose, but then lifespan will be shortened about 10 years if you do it regular. Pardon me. Instead, metformin in doses 500 1000 milligram per day can be used in combination with high carbohydrate diets. However, metformin reduces muscle hypertrophy. It's again, I tried to use metformin honestly without growth hormone, just use DHEA and this metformin, and I discovered that ability, endurance, and strength for resistance exercises, or endurance exercises, is dropping. So it is not nice to use metformin. So instead, much better, in my opinion, that to follow strict carnivore diet, and because it is safe, it is natural, you are getting enough of cholesterol to produce testosterone, even if with regular supplements of DHEA, it improves even better, and then level of glucose is low, and it is easy to get muscle hypertrophy with minimum adverse effects. This is what I do personally, and I am very satisfied by the results. Okay, relatively recently, selective androgen receptor modulators were developed in the 90s, and these are a group of tissue selective compounds that are popular among bodybuilders. They work the same like testosterone, but they are not cannot be transformed to DHT, so they probably is a little bit safer. So that because with injection of testosterone, you can experience hair loss, and you can experience other stuff like this. Pardon, where it is. Okay. Hair loss and benign prostatic hyperplasia. It is very, very nasty in old age. It is a very big problem. So it is again SARMs probably better than testosterone, but remember that SARMs were not developed for humans. This for animals. For animals, that animals will get the muscle mass quicker. They use these substances orally or injection, mostly orally, and then it is the way. But for animals, remember that SARMs are working quite well, but other like testosterone and people are using, and again, young people better to avoid using them because they work. Of course, they work, and they work in some sense that your penis size is increasing, and young people probably crazy about this. But again, there are side effects, and this is only 30 years ago development. They are not safe. They are expensive, and 30% or more probability to get fake substance, which is maybe toxic instead of, because you can buy it from internet, but well, who knows what you got. What else? Natural levels of to improve the testosterone, not only physical exercises, proper diet, and also quercetin. Quercetin, it was proven that consumption of quercetin, and it is improving serum level of testosterone in rats, but also in humans. And this is quite normal supplement. It is I do it myself, and I can recommend it. But again, doses maybe half gram, 1 gram per day, like this. It helps to keep your body more healthy. In addition, consumption of honey. What is interesting? So natural honey, not sugar, but honey. About 20 grams per day for men, improved level of serum testosterone. Well, it is quite interesting results, but okay, somehow it is probably can be explained by increase of pregnenolone production and testosterone production from cholesterol in the Leydig cells. Okay, you see again, honey, a little bit production of some amount of honey, not much. 20 grams. It is if you follow carnivore diet, strict carnivore diet, and consume as much cholesterol as possible, up to maybe 5-6 grams a day. Then to improve the production of testosterone from this cholesterol can be used also for detoxing. It is very important for fat digestion, and then, but additionally, you maybe honey shot 1 time a day, 20 grams, 1 spoon of the honey. It maybe activates these Leydig cells in your testes. Okay, so it can work somehow. Again, somehow we have this strange situation that some amount of sugar in blood is necessary, and even with carnivore diet with 0 carbohydrates in food, yet we have enough of glucose. It's a low level, but we keep this glucose for some cells, for some tissues like testes, and probably, and also for eyes we have some cells which don't have mitochondria, so they produce energy by hydrolysis of glucose, conversion it to the lactic acid eventually. So this, but you have to be very careful, because cancer cells and cells infected by viruses, they use the same way of energy production, and high level of of the glucose in blood is actually dangerous, because you can get cancer, or you can or your infection will develop some. So again, I was reading, I created this presentation. I was reading all this data available in scientific publications to understand is it worthwhile to buy testosterone, because it's easy to buy. Is it worthwhile to make injections? Would it be helpful? Or maybe this SARM substances can be used. But I decided that this is like hype, and this the role of testosterone and these SARMs in bodybuilding is overrated. You can improve the level of testosterone natural way. Again, I don't deny that high level of testosterone will help to increase the fat-free muscle mass. It is so. If you do injections, okay, you can make it shorter, but with adverse effects. So, however, again, similar results can be achieved with other supplements like DHEA, changes in the diet, following the strict carnivore diet, progressive overload during the resisting exercises, and then again, considering that adverse effects of the hormone replacement therapy and the fact that my goal is not bulking muscles but radical extension of lifespan, I don't want to live short, because many bodybuilders they use insulin and all these other injections, and they die in age of 50. So it's sorry, I don't want to do the same. Bulking muscles is not my primary goal. Okay, and I will not use SARM. Sorry, as it said, would not recommend it. Not recommended. What I propose to follow carnivore diet with many eggs a day, as many eggs as a day as possible. Normally I consume up to 14 eggs, sometimes 18 eggs a day, and feel good, and that increases cholesterol intake with food and supplements. Plus you can use supplements to induce deep and longer sleep. This is again very important for relaxing, and for you need good rest to produce testosterone. And also you have to follow progressive overloading of the muscles during resistance exercises. It is absolutely important. It's almost every next day you have to move, you have to push a higher weight, and you have to make more and more till failure, fatigue or failure. If you do endurance exercises, you have to go to complete fatigue. Not do it just by time, but do it just, you cannot do more. It is fatigue, completely fatigue, as some muscle cells can be destroyed as a result, and then accumulation of this reactive oxygen species in the muscle cells also ignites satellite cells and all together. But DHEA intakes, it helps to improve endurance, for example, and I will do a video on it. And it seems so that large amounts, and it is recommended by producers, can be used. But also zinc, potassium, magnesium, and quercetin supplements, and some adaptogens. Yeah, vitamin 3 is absolutely important, and sunbathing it helps. And vitamin D3 I use when it is recommended 5,000 international units. I use up to 20,000 international units of vitamin D3, and I feel good. Okay, feel good. Again, it is not that medical advice, but I just tell you that I was learning about this vitamin D3 and levels, and they concluded that at least for a while I can use a high level of vitamin D3 consumption. Okay, then again, in combination, such methods produce benefits of increased testosterone without adverse effects. And again, high level of testosterone give you feeling of good, like you feeling like a Superman. And then you can get the same feeling if you do all the procedure properly without these injections. So injections can lead also to overproduction of so-called dihydrotestosterone, which is very important for sex development, for sexual organs, but it also produces, it is responsible for hair loss and benign prostatic hyperplasia. In older age, it can be a big problem. Okay, conclusions: higher fat-free muscle mass indicates a higher testosterone level, and vice versa. Okay, so it is again, if you go exercises, if you follow carnivore diet, if you use intermittent fasting, and so you are eating, again, for bodybuilding it is recommended to eat 4, even 6 times a day. I don't think it is a good idea. I eat twice, some days, one day, like during weekend, I can eat 3 times a day. Yeah, but it's normally, I try to make a main dish, main main food intake at evening, a lot of protein. In the morning I eat a little bit of protein, just probably to keep my production of these proteins, and or to provide proteins so that muscles will not be destroyed. Our body needs proteins to produce enzymes, to replace some cells, and it also needs for an immune system functioning properly. So morning, maybe 100 gram of meat, maybe more, it's okay. Okay, then again, what is again? If it is natural range, if you will keep natural range, that it means below 1000 nanogram per deciliter, then in this natural range, like from 300 to 1000, every 100 nanodeciliter per liter, nanogram per deciliter increase in testosterone will correspond to the fat-free muscle mass increase approximately 0. Up to 0.6 kilo. Okay. Okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, so but again, it is not related. So you go exercises, your muscle mass increases, and you have higher testosterone, and vice versa. You follow all the correct diet and exercises, then your testosterone is higher, and your fat-free muscle mass is growing. But if you do injections, because if with injections you can get more than 1,500 nanogram per deciliter, and this is not efficient. You go up, but every 100 nanogram per deciliter gives only 6 times smaller improvement is fat-free muscle mass, and then it is not worthwhile considering adverse effects. Okay, aging man, if your body already in bad conditions, so then your testosterone levels very low, then you may benefit from boosting testosterone levels to maximum, to 1000 nanogram per deciliter, but keep this in natural range, below 1000. And you can do injections or stimulated testosterone production, as I said. Okay, maybe combination, because if testosterone level are very low, then your willpower and your motivation to work to go resistant exercise will be low. So maybe for a while you can use injections. This is my opinion. And again, I'm not professional. I'm not medical professional, and I started this bodybuilding procedure or attending fitness hall only 2.5 months ago. I see results. I'm very satisfied with the results for for beginners. Beginners are getting very quick increase in muscle mass and in strength, and I see it. I enjoy it. And again, after exercises, after the gym, I feel myself like I am a Superman. Very, very much better feeling, and you feel yourself not only a man, but you have yourself a Superman. Okay, but again, it is just my personal opinion. What works for me maybe will not work for you. You have to think and make your own research, or discuss this information with your personal physician. That's my advice to you. But as for me, again, as I said, every people are special. Find your way to make resistant exercises. Find your way to what diet works for you better, what kind of what schedule you can follow, and how often you can go to the gym, etc., and follow this your own way. Okay, that's all. Thank you.